On November 30th, 2021, a Twitter user from Dallas reported that her doorbell camera had recorded a suspicious man standing outside of her apartment almost every night for an entire month. According to her tweet, she had already reached out to the authorities, but they hadn't done enough to keep the man away. This is what her Ring camera captured. In most of the clips, the man can be seen standing eerily still outside of the woman's apartment, possibly waiting for her to come outside. At one point in the video, the man can be heard talking, but his words are difficult to make out. It's unknown what he planned to do if the woman stepped out of her apartment, but judging by his behavior, it likely wasn't anything good. After the original upload, the disturbing video immediately went viral, with hundreds of people checking in on the woman to make sure she was safe. 2 days later, the woman posted an update on Twitter, in which she mentioned that her friends and family had confronted the man, and that security had been on the lookout for him. Many people who viewed the video urged the uploader not to let her guard down, and reminded her that the likelihood that the man would show up again was very high. But after the last tweet in December 2021, there haven't been any more updates, and the man's identity hasn't been publicly revealed. In February 2020, an off-duty police officer received a message from his neighbor asking him to go check on his wife because somebody was trying to break into their house, and the woman was home alone. The man immediately walked across the street to his neighbor's house, but didn't see anything suspicious. When he came back, he saw that his neighbor had sent him this clip. The video shows a shirtless man crawling up the stairs to the front entrance of the house and attempting to open the door. Realizing it's locked, he walks back down the stairs and makes his way to the side of the house. After viewing the footage, the man immediately called 911, and 10 minutes later, 4 officers arrived in the neighborhood with a canine unit to help track down the intruder. What followed was an intense game of cat and mouse involving the neighbors, the police, and the shirtless man. Although he was spotted by the neighbors multiple times, he managed to slip away from the cops every single time. Several minutes into the search, the man heard his neighbor calling from across the street, saying that he could hear someone in his backyard. The 2 men scoured the outside of the house, and eventually found that the back porch light had been unscrewed, but the shirtless man was nowhere to be seen. About an hour later, the man who uploaded the video walked out onto his back deck and spotted the intruder unscrewing another porch light, this time from the house across the street. With weapon in hand, the man intercepted the intruder and ordered him to get on the ground, but the shirtless man took off running and ended up sneaking into the crawl space of a nearby house. The uploader waited until the police arrived, and after he was ordered out of the crawl space, the intruder was charged with 2 counts of aggravated burglary, trespassing, public intoxication, and disorderly conduct. Police revealed that the subject was under the influence of hard drugs, and had an outstanding warrant for failing to appear in court for another open case of burglary from earlier that same year. It's unclear if he was convicted of all the charges against him, but considering his criminal history, it's more than likely that he's still serving time today. In 2022, a Reddit user uploaded this disturbing Ring camera footage with the caption, "Zombies want your brain." The video shows a young man in a bandana covered in what appears to be dirt or blood, repeatedly slamming himself into the front door of a house. On his third attempt to break down the door, he apparently knocks himself out after hitting his head. Stumbling after the impact, the man collapses over the front porch railing, knocking over an ornament in the process. He groans in pain as he flails his arms and raises his legs, seemingly trying to get back on his feet, but the video ends before we can see what happened next. After the footage was uploaded, many viewers commented that the man was probably under the influence of hard drugs, which would explain his uncoordinated movements and violent behavior. Other users suggest that he might have had a seizure after hitting his head on the door, but because the video was uploaded with no context or explanation, it's impossible to confirm what actually happened. After that night, the homeowner never saw the man again.
In this video, a woman approaches her neighbor's front porch and greets them before eating something.
Hey, neighbor. Please leave my family alone. It's just you again. You know, I've always had a crush on you. Please, why are my kids missing?
The homeowner talks to her over the speaker, asking her to leave them alone.
I want my family back. I don't want any seaweed. I've been thinking about, stuff. Please leave my family alone. That's okay with me, though. I love ghosts. Even the dogs are missing. It is, right? Well, I'm hurt too, Enough is enough.
This goes on for a while before the video ends. In December 2020, a Reddit user named T-Course got a notification on their phone that there was someone at their door in the middle of the night during heavy rain. Check out the spooky visitor they captured on camera. There's a woman standing at the door, and her mouth is wide open. She's shuffling her feet back and forth, but her mouth remains gaping. Thankfully, the homeowner wasn't home at the time, so they didn't have to decide whether to open the door or not. Some people on Reddit thought it was similar to a scene from the 2014 horror movie, The Taking of Deborah Logan, where a possessed woman has a jaw that seems to be unhinged and something creepy happens. So, what would you do in this situation? Would you be a good person and invite her in for tea and scones, or would you prefer to hide and wait for everything to calm down? Spooky Ring doorbell security video was shared on Reddit by a user named Seaton, Voicing30. In 2019, a homeowner got a notification that someone was at their front door. According to the post, they chose not to answer it, and it's not hard to understand why. Look at this. A person wearing a creepy mask is at the door holding a sign that says free hugs. They stare menacingly at the camera and then point to their sign. Based on the video's timestamp, it's actually Halloween night, which makes it a bit less scary. But I'm still trying to decide if I'd be comfortable opening the door to this person, even on Halloween night.
There's one thing even more terrifying than these clips, and that's what your life would be like without watching more of our videos.